Welcome to MetaGame, the gaming and media podcast from SpawnCampCouncil, the think tank that takes content to the highest tier of excellence. Tonight we're giving you the highest information on the latest games, so boot up, log in, and enjoy the show. This week, Disco Elysium finally drops the beat. Ninja Gaga? Stranger Ratings? Fat Pikachu chooses food, and Cyberpunk's the microtransactions. But we aren't talking about that crap tonight. Tonight, I'm your host, Adam 2L, with our co-host, Solid Scorpion Z, Sectator, King Dawes, and number 2 in the bathroom, but number 1 in our hearts, Poop Shizzle. We have a very special guest tonight from way back. TheFlaminC is joining us to talk about the charity gaming and a fantastic event just around the corner. Good evening to you, sir. How have you been? And tell us all about Extra Life.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I've been really well, and it's been a while. So thank you. Oh, I missed your faces too. But if you guys were around last year, we did this too. There's this fun little gaming event that we all get together and do, and it is called Extra Life. So what do you want to know? Anything and everything?
Yeah, everything about it. So how does Extra Life set up? What does it represent? And how often they do the streams?
How does one gain an Extra Life?
There you go. Yeah.
You get your one up? Yes. So Extra Life, like a lot of different charities, is a homegrown charity that started in 2008 in the Houston area through an organization called Sarcastic Gamer. And they had a family friend who went into Texas Children's Hospital and looked at a couple different ways of trying to provide her with some stuff to do while she was in the hospital. So they looked at getting games, consoles, comics, lots of different stuff, and started out very small in trying to just bring in different, we'll just call it gaming. It's moved to lots of different things, from board games to yard games to consoles, PC, everything like that. But it was a lot of stuff just on the video game side that was brought in for Texas Children's, and it's grown exponentially.
So it started in Texas? That was a Texas thing?
Sir.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Started in Texas.
Everything starts in Texas.
Well, it's bigger there.
You guys said it. So, and last year was its 10-year anniversary. And this year we're moving on to 11 years. I've done it for, I think, 7 years in a row. And what it breaks down into is a 24 or 25-hour gaming event. You can break it up into multiple different segments. We have lots of guys who will do 6-hour segments, a couple hours throughout the month. We have some crazies like myself, and I know Adam, who and Poop went back. I think, did you do 24 last year as well? Yes. So 24 straight hours. It is it's fun. You do a lot of things. The time flies. You get a lot of fun things. I know in Poop's last year, at the very end of his, he had somebody come in, and there was a sub train and a donation train. That was very fun to watch. So, but the thing, what it does is you can create a team, and all you're really doing is it's like a donation drive or a walkathon or anything like that. It is taking donations going towards Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So there's multiples in, and it is Extra Life, extra-life.org. If you want to find out the website, we put it in chat later on. But that's what it's done. And over the last 11 years, they've raised over $50 million.
That's amazing. So if you're
Miracle Network hospitals,
if you're like getting into it for the first time, what would you recommend?
Yep. Ooh, what would I recommend? Go to the website. It has gotten much better over the last 5 or 6 years. So a lot of stuff people set up, stream, Twitch, Mixer, like what we do. And when it first started, and that's, again, streaming 5-6 years ago, it was a lot of stuff you just found on the line, or it was just a straight webcam or anything like that. You can go to the community section, and they actually have toolkits now that give you Twitter headers, Facebook headers, different commercials that you can utilize during your stream. I know Adam and myself and Poop probably used them last year. It provided us a little bit of time to show what Extra Life was about, and it would allow us to get up, have some interaction with the family, talk to, go to the restroom, grab a quick snack, those types of things, get the blood flowing in our legs. But a lot of that stuff, and they just released their new 2019 toolkit 2 days ago by email. So it's on the website too if you needed to update anything with the new headers.
Nice.
So
Nice.
But really, it's you being able to have fun doing what we enjoy doing, playing games, and utilizing that to give back to the communities and the hospitals that we want to do. I looked into this, like I said, about 6 years ago. My cousin went to Seattle Children's Hospital 25 years ago with infantile leukemia at the age of 8. And they took care of her for about a year and a half until she passed. And this is just something that that hit me, that I could go and utilize something that I enjoy doing, but also be able to know that the money is going back to, I think Poop and I actually talked about it last year, in doing and looking at this, looking at Children's Miracle Network and seeing the amount of money that's actually put into it. And is it a fair amount that actually goes to the charity and not towards other things? So I don't remember what the website was, but there's one out there that actually does some fact checking on the amount of money that goes into different sites and where it gets dispersed and those types of things. And Children's Miracle Network has a very good reputation on money that's donated actually going to those hospitals, those groups that are wanted. What's up?
Go ahead. What I learned, I went to the Extra Life Boston meet and greet this
Which
year.
are one of the guild meetings?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a guild meeting. It was the hospital.
Okay, excellent.
So the hospital had all the Extra Life streamers come in. They just sent a blast email out for everybody to come in. They had an event for us. We had breakfast. We got to tour the hospital. Got to see all the research and development stuff they had going on. See some of the kids. They had 2 kids down there that had been there for a long time that were really getting better and, talking about it. What was really cool, they said, I mean, it was a lot to do. But the main thing they said was that the Extra Life money that comes in is unallocated. So when they get donations from different places or different businesses, they go to certain things, right? They have to go directly to cancer research or directly to, equipment or whatever. But they said the great thing about Extra Life, and the reason that they love Extra Life more so, not more so, but more so than the other people that donate, is that they get to do whatever they need to, as far as like adding it to areas that really need work that they wouldn't get normally. Not to be like, lining pockets or anything like that, but they talked to us about some of the research stuff they had going on. It's like, well, nobody's funding this research because it's very cutting edge and nobody's really knows about it. Nobody's going to buy into it, but we're doing this and this and this, and we're really making great progress, but we need ways to fund that. And so the Extra Life money can go into that or go into whatever to do it. So they're really thankful about the Extra Life people and all the people that stream and bring in money for that.
Excellent. Yeah. And I've noticed that it's gotten better with the outreach from the hospitals over the years of doing the community itself has grown. I mean, there's 100,000 people already signed up for 2019. They do individual awards as well as team awards. And right now, Dungeons and Dragons is the #1 team at over $172,000 raised.
Well, it should be.
Yes, as a team. And then you've got a single person who's almost raised $50,000 themselves.
Didn't Dr. Lupo raise like $970,000?
That went for...
That was St. Jude's.
Is it St. Jude's?
Okay, cool.
So, same sort of thing. No, that's all right. So, I mean, there's Child's Play. There's the stuff that the guys in the Destiny organization do. And the one nice thing, and that's what I've always liked about this one compared to like Child's Play. Child's Play does an excellent job doing donations at race, but it's more of a corporate style charity. This is that homegrown, you feel like, I mean, you can see what you're doing and how it's going to the organizations that you want to or the hospital that you want to directly. But you've had a lot of people who would jump in on it. Humble Bundle has been promoting Extra Life for as long as I've been doing it. Actually looks like, and everybody has their own thoughts on it, but G Fool has jumped in this year and is doing some stuff with them. If you raise $100, you get your own mixer, that kind of stuff. There's a custom T-shirt every year. They give out medals. It's always fun in November, or actually in February or March, unless you're in Canada, and then you get screwed.
There's also a custom D&D T-shirt every year.
Is there really?
There is. Yeah, I got the Beholder last year. You've seen it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know really they talk about
really cool.
They talk about tabletop game.
They do
as well. Yeah. So lots of different things for your incentives. The teams have they've gotten better on acknowledging how many years you've been in your team, what you've done for those little badges, achievements, those types of things. So they've done a lot of stuff within the last couple of years to solidify this as an actual organization and charity that has some good reputation and backing behind it. So, but I haven't told anybody about the date. So they normally pick daylight savings time.
So they get 25
hours. So it's normally in the end of October, beginning of November. And this year it's November 2nd. And lots of people, they get to play with how they want to do it. For the most part, myself, I, in the past, have started at about 8, 9 in the morning and just roll through till Sunday morning and stream, play different games, do dumb shit. A couple years ago, I went all glitter beard, put a blue glitter everywhere, drove down to the local convenience store, got myself a soda pop, took a picture, shaved it all off, put braids in it, lots of different things to just give yourself stretch goals, those types of things. I shaved my head first year I did it, just lots of different things that you can have fun with your community that you've created and have them give back.
So you've done it for several years. What do you recommend as far as like, let's cover several aspects, like the physical part of it, like, you need to hydrate, whatever, stuff like that. I want you to talk about that a little bit. And then how do you get people to notice and possibly donate?
Yep.
Like your outreach part for that.
The like everything else that you've probably seen, social media is excellent. Don't be scared to talk it up. It is people are interested in what gamers do, but also, I'm a 39-year-old professional male and I enjoy playing video games. And part of that is doing this once a year. My family knows about it. My coworkers know about it. Actually, in the first 2 years that I did this, my company actually sponsored it. So we opened up our conference room and had 15, 20 of the employees there, from the floor to engineering, manufacturing, sales, all those types of things, enjoying it. It's a very large community out there of gamers. The 24-hour, don't go into it thinking that, hey, I can just do this. 24 hours or 25 hours is crazy. Get a good night's sleep beforehand. Go into it. I would normally hit the sack about 7, 8 in the morning, or 7 and 8 at night. Get a good 12 hours. Try to, like you said, hydrate. We are adults. Do not start drinking at the very beginning of your stream. Save that till maybe midnight, 1, 2 o'clock. But if you're really going to do that, I would say, yeah, exactly. Go hard at about 6, 7, or 8 right at the very end, because it's a long time. Don't feel bad if you say, hey, give me 20, 30 minutes to go have lunch or go have some time with the family and stretch your legs. Don't just sit there for 25 hours straight. It will not be good. Also get the sign off of your family, because you're going to be out for probably 48 hours. Because after you finish your stream, unless you're crazy and you decide to just keep on rocking on Sunday, you're going to be out for another 6, 7 hours, just crash time.
Yeah. So
make sure before you do any of this that you get the sign off of your significant other, family, friends, those types of things, that this is what you're doing that weekend. Right. And this is going to be my first time in 7 years. I'm not going to stream on the 2nd. I've got 2 baseball games, a softball tournament, and flag football. So I'm going to stream the next weekend is what my plan is going to do. And that's totally fine. Don't feel like you've got to shove in 25 hours into this. That's not what it is. It's more of just you're setting your goal. And that's and that's why people are donating to you, is you've told them, yes, I'm going to do this. Okay. Do it over, I think Harvey, I think he split it over like 4 6-hour shifts throughout the month, stuff like that. So
one thing I saw pretty cool is this smaller streamer did like a day vlog. So he woke up early, he streamed for 6 hours, then he took a camera to the dinner table, vlogged with his whole family, and then they all played like Nintendo 64 or whatever together as a family. They went for a walk in the park. I mean, he broke it up, but he made it where the family was inclusive, and it was kind of like a bonus. Like the longer we go, the more my family will see. And then they did different things. Like if they hit $1,000, he took the kids to to like Chuck E. Cheese, and he videotaped them at Chuck E. Cheese. It was really cool to see how planned out he was, because the stream never went down. It was just constant, seamless, like transition to transition to transition. So
that's another thing I recommend is like setting different goal levels, about donations and like that, just to spur the community. I mean, Chode, TheFlaminC here is a perfect example of that with the glitter beard and everything else. Yes. Yeah, so like you had different levels of tiers, when people donate so much, then you do this, you do that, you do whatever. That was a really great idea. Very, very inspiring.
And I enjoyed watching Poop and his lady last year. Got her involved.
Easy.
Yep.
Ooh. For that donation, you know what you get, guys.
You guys are playing, what is it? Try Not to Explode or?
Divorce Simulator 2018.
Oh, no, she did fine.
Keep talking, nobody explodes.
Yes, keep talking, nobody explodes. That was fun to watch because that gets. I mean, that's mine. I've asked my wife. She's like, "Nope, I'm not doing that." Camera on? Yep. Nope, not walking in. It's like, okay, but I mean, that was a great interaction to get the family involved and see what you're doing and those types of things. And the community enjoys that. They have fun with it. So, but again, that's why I'm here. I love it. If you want to, I will put it into chat, the website. We do have a team. It's called We Met on the Internet. That's a whole nother story. So if you join the team, I may let you know about it.
Do not.
But
please do not.
So it's just one thing, and talk to these boys who are going to do it. Actually, in the cast right now, who's going to stream or who's taking part in Extra Life this year? All right, Mr.
Just
Adam?
me?
Maybe. Okay.
Poop Shizzle, you're not doing it this year?
I still have to get. First of all, the team that we were on last, I haven't been invited to We Met on the Internet. I can be though. I would love to be. And then I gotta pass the work committee. So.
Yep. Very good. Understand. So the last thing that I'll say is, if you're gonna do, set yourself up a schedule. Have it flexible, because you'll get into a raid that'll take 7 hours because, hey, nobody knows what the hell they're doing. But set yourself where you want to play some time alone and have your community or your chat time with your chat, but then also set some time to play with your friends. I mean, enjoy it.
Absolutely.
That's going to make the time go along. Hit that time between about 2 until 8, or whenever you finish those last 6-7 hours in the dead of night where everybody's sleeping. Have a fun co-op game. Play something. Play Gang Beasts. Play that. I saw that Poop last year doing that with about 5 or 6 guys. Go out and play some stuff that will keep you active, keep you awake, and enjoy it. But if you have any questions, you guys can find me in Discord. You can find me on the Twitters. I'll give out all that deets at the end. But that's why I'm here. Go Extra Life. Get yourself the gold medal. It's pretty freaking sweet.
I don't have one yet. I'm jealous.
You'll get one. So
but no, that's the team is called We Met on the Internet.
Yes.
And one of the people that was there for that was King Dawes. What do you have for us tonight?
Boys, first of all, you're all handsome. It's good to see you again. Second, no comment on that. All right. Second,
no, you just know it already. Like, you don't have to say it.
I figured that would have been ripe for discussion. But anyways, all right. So I like all the talk about D&D. That gets me tickled because I wanted to cover something that's exciting that's actually coming out tomorrow, October 17th. Excuse me. September. Right. My days are mixed up. Came out September 17th.
Months are mixed up.
Sorry. Anyways, so that would be Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. That's the new adventure out from D&D, Wizards of the Coast. It is a level 1 to 13 adventure. So just like the campaign that Adam just started up, it's a level 1 to 13 adventure. This takes you into the world of Baldur's Gate, and we touched on this last week a little bit, but I wanted to dive in a little bit further. This takes you into the first circle of hell out of 9, and goes in and gets you into that adventure where there is the Archdevil Zerial, and you also get War Machines is the new kind of feature that you're getting with Baldur's Gate this time. So you're going to have actual siege machines you can use. There's going to be new races, new creatures. So
are there mechs?
War machines. So like a siege engine.
Yeah, like vehicles.
Right. Yeah. This isn't Gundam. It's not gonna.
Well, I mean,
don't
they
think
might
that
have
flies.
mechs in there, like some crazy dwarven.
They have
mechs,
Warforges
you know?
already, so that's kind of the same
Yeah,
thing.
close
Yeah.
enough, I guess.
Man.
So that's the newest adventure out right now. That came out September 17th, not October 17th. Days are a little mixed up. And so one thing I wanted to point out that the alternative cover art. I'm not really a big fan of buying my books in bookstores. Not that I don't support local bookstores, but I also like to get things at half price. So I wait till they come out on Amazon, and you can get the books for quite a bit cheaper. But the alternative cover art for this book was just wild. I know, Adam, I think you already have it, or you're going to plan on getting it.
No, I've got the Beetle and Grimm special edition platinum that's coming, but it's not out yet. So they release it, then they throw all kinds of crazy stuff and miniatures and shit into the box and give you something really
So
cool.
you got the Big Daddy box.
I
You
got the Big
whole
Daddy
thing.
box. Yeah.
Nice. So I'll hold it up here. I don't know if you guys can see it, maybe on stream.
Oh, that's sick. Have you
Hey.
seen some of the alt arts for like the monster manual, the DM's manual?
They're going all
Yeah,
out.
they're all awesome. I mean, they're all
They're
awesome.
all-
This is
yeah,
one of the ones that kind of Xanthar's Guide had an awesome alt cover art. That was really good. But this one really struck me, and I kind of want to go out and pick it up.
It's only like, I think the adventure modules are only what, like $15?
No, this is $49.95, $50.
Oh shit.
It'll be out $39 on Amazon in a bit. So, but yeah, absolutely go and pick up the hardcover version at the bookstore because you get that alternative art, and it's pretty friggin' sweet. So,
Do we like buy this and then read up on for the next campaign or what?
so I think I'm not sure.
You can try.
Yeah, I don't know how much info you're gonna get, but so that's what's coming up, or what I plan on getting here pretty soon. I'm sure we'll see in Adam's campaign here. It's Discord based. We just started one up. Adam, Solid, Slip, Robot, and who was it? That was it, right?
That's it. Yeah, just 4 of us. Yeah.
Wow, that was short. So we're gonna be doing that here. I'm sure we'll get updates on that. And question of the week. Last 2 week, I had a question. What would DM do? The question was, can you use your bonus action as an action? I think the only person who answered against the grain was Poop. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Poop just said fuck it and said no, you can't. No, he said yes, you can.
I'd like to use that response now as well.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Great. So the answer is no. You cannot use a bonus action as an action. That's set in stone. Those are separate things altogether.
Unless it says so. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you can actually in the rules say bonus action as action. But no, the answer is no on that. This week the question is, now when you have a drow, they have underdark sunlight sensitivity. Basically means you get disadvantage while you're in bright sunlight. Mm-hmm. If you are fighting a wizard or someone that can use the cantrip light, would that drow still have disadvantage if exposed to that cantrip?
What is that? What is light? What does I mean? Like
It
Does it
creates
spell light?
it creates a
dark. Now I created light.
Yeah, just creates a
okay.
bright
Does
light.
this
Did you
creature
create
have a
sunlight?
similar response to firelight?
That could also be applicable.
It creates a bright light that illuminates the room for like 100 feet or something like that.
Well, my question is: sunlight affects them?
Yeah.
Does any other source of light affect them?
Like
sunlight?
torches.
question.
Yeah, that's part of the question. You can't get that. You can't get the information because that's part of the question. If you answer that,
well, you're saying a cast spell, right?
but the answer to that would answer the
But
question.
that torch that is on the wall over there, that's just environment.
giving out
Does the
light.
environment?
But that is the question.
So if you're inside-
if you
so-
answer that, then the answer is there.
Oh, well, then that's a
see what I
shitty
mean?
question.
No, that's a shitty question.
See, Poop doesn't know like the status effects of everything.
So the question
Yeah,
is like,
that doesn't make
does that
sense.
mean? So what Poop is asking is, does that mean sunlight or magical light or room light
Right.
or
That's
just
what
a
I would
spark
say.
or
The
the
question would be
rubbing your feet across the
Radiation
carpet and shocking
divided
somebody?
Light of any other source, I would say, would be the question.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, he's fucked.
It's fucked. Got it.
So, yeah, okay. I'll go next.
Yep.
I say no. I say it has to be sunlight, period. Magical light, flares, torches, jazzy hands that like illuminate the area are not considered to put that drow at disadvantage.
But does the book say anything about they are affected by sunlight?
That's their disadvantage is drow's sunlight sensitivity.
Okay, well then no. It calls it out in the book, sunlight. So no, I'm with. They're not affected.
He's read the book.
Here, let me grab it.
Sectator, what you got?
I'm going to say yes, just because why not? So the way I'm thinking of this, and there's no D&D lore that backs what I'm about to say, but if you stare at a flashlight, it blinds the F out of you. So if you have a really high sensitivity to lighting, that's what it would be like all the time. So not using any D&D lore or Wizards of the Coast to back that up, I'm just going to say yes because, yeah, I want to.
But are you sunburned by the flashlight?
I don't know. Some of those laser flashlights get pretty hot.
Depends how many lumens we have.
You can't play with airplanes, so. Poop Shizzle, what's your final answer, Poop?
I was like, yeah, I was trying to gauge what constitutes the light and the source and the validity of whatever. If it's light, he's boned. If he's light, it's light.
Gotcha. Solid.
If this is a creature that's supposed to be in the dark, then anything that's not dark is harmful.
Because logic.
Be gone with mole person. Back to the darkness.
Solid. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm saying yes as well.
Oh.
You're saying yes. The light already
affects him. It gives him
The
disadvantage.
spell of magical light.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Well, all right. You know the drill, guys.
So we
Next
find out
time.
what next
Some
week.
of you are right.
Next
Some
time.
of you are wrong.
Some of you are right. Some of you are wrong.
Well, yes, it's 50-50, and we both.
Yes.
Somebody picked yes, somebody picked no.
That is usually the theme. So, yes. Next episode, you'll find out who was correct and who was not.
I like it.
All right.
All right, King, tell us about Borderlands. What you got going on with that? There's new updates.
So-
is anything relevant now? Is Zane's
Everything's
now, or
relevant.
not?
Everything's relevant besides Zane.
Oh, God damn it.
So stuff. We're waiting on that. Right now, we're in the third week of the month-long 10th anniversary celebration. This is the least fun week that we've had so far. The first week was a boss week. All the bosses had increased drop rates and for their specific legendaries, and it was great. The week after that was the rare spawn event, where there were rare enemies in the game that had specific loot tied to them, and some of the rare mobs had legendary items attached to them. So that was a great week as well if you were trying to round out the collection that you have. This week, kind of the turd of the group, no offense, Poop, but this is the increased Iridium week. So all that really amounts to is normal mobs can drop Iridium now as opposed to badasses and anointed enemies. So, stock up on Iridium if you really want to this week. And bosses and anointeds drop increased Iridium. So that's it. That's the only modifier to this week. It's just increased Iridium. Other than that, there also is a discount on Iridium prices from Crazy Earl and Moxie Slot Machine. So,
Have you found any Iridium-based items at Earl that you wanted?
low level, I did just for the anointed stuff. I was really hunting for some anointed gear, but now that you can farm bosses really easily, they drop as many anointeds as keep it save quitting to try and get Earl to drop something good.
Right, so not worth it.
Realistically, the best use for Iridium right now is cosmetics. You can just buy all the cosmetics, skins, and heads and everything.
Okay. Well, that's something.
Once that's purchased,
You done?
stock up on it, I guess.
So right now, what's the best character out in Borderlands 3?
Best is hard because if I had to say best damage dealer would be Amara right now. After Flat got hit with a few nerfs, his damage potential went down a little bit, just because of the infinite ammo regeneration that you could get from a Leave No Trace skill that got nerfed down with a delay of activation. And so Amara has quite a few items available to her that boosts her weapon damage like crazy. Some of her anointeds give her 300% increase in weapon damage after using an action skill. She has an elemental relic that she can use to give her 183% damage boost. So just stack on top, and Amara can't be touched right now for overall damage output.
Wow. Okay. So like just mobbing and everything, that's Amara.
Yeah, I mean, Mo's is probably better for mobbing in the fact that all you run is a flacker, and as long as you don't reload with Mo's, her splash damage keeps increasing up to 100%, and that makes the flacker just go insane.
Okay.
But for bosses, definitely Amara. Zane's still left in the dust right now. He's tough because his action skills are so readily available all the time. If they made those action skills oppressive, then he would just be obnoxiously overpowered.
Yeah, and none of it could pull it back, right? Could not pull it back.
No, and yeah, after a point, I mean, it gets to where players are accustomed to that, and then if you nerf him into the ground, it's no fun. So
yeah. All right, very good.
So that'd be it.
Poop Chisel, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, my topic's bound to cause some debate, so I'm going to go ahead and just fire off the details here, and then I want to pose you guys some questions, see what you guys think. First of all, a little bit of back history here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the history of Hong Kong, but it was once owned by Great Britain, and in 97, they handed it back over to the people of China. However, there was some kind of ifness there because China is really on lockdown with regards to a lot of censorship and stuff like that. Hong Kong was still kind of like, hey, we're kind of British and we could do our thing here. And I don't know, like, what, are you going to take that away from us? What's going on? So ultimately, it was kind of like one country, but two styles. And thank you.
Not you. That was not for you.
No, you're good. So there's turmoil going on right now because China, who is now back in charge of Hong Kong, wants to try to get them back under that umbrella. And they're starting to really tighten up on some human rights issues. And the people of Hong Kong, they are used to the freedoms, are kind of fighting back like, hey, yo, step off. It started with an extradition thing. People were going to say if they could get extradited back to the mainland China, then they could be tried under those rules, and then a much harder punishment for some of these crimes. And people are like, no, that's not fair. That's a really, really brief, but that's why there's trouble in China, in Hong Kong.
Let me just add that Hong Kong has had the freedoms of the West, has had the internet of the West,
a long time,
has had all the information of the West, whereas China has not had those things for a very long period of time. I've been in China, and Chode has too.
China is an interesting country.
It really is. But things are very well regulated, very well mandated, and the information going in and going out is watched.
The level of censorship.
Yes.
The level of censorship is astounding, especially given the number of people that live there. It is impressive how they're able to do that. And that kind of, what I'm going to pose in a little bit, it trickles into what, how much do we want that in our own society, in our own products, because of the influence. So anyway, there was a Hearthstone tournament at the beginning of this month. There was a character or a person in there called Blitzchung. He actually won. And in his interview at the end of the tournament, the two casters and him, he put on a mask and like a ski mask and like a gas mask, and simulating or symbolizing those that are out there in the street with the tear gas and everything. And the commentators kind of chuckled and they kind of hid their head. And ultimately, it wasn't a good thing because it was in there. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. A lot of people are saying that China has a big say in Blizzard. We'll get to that in a second. And a lot of people are saying Blizzard is trying to enforce some rules of their own that says keep all that stuff out of their tournaments. And basically, Blizzard is in between a rock and a hard place, and both rock and the hard place are owned by China. The biggest issue here is they suspended the guy for a year. They banned him for a year. Then they took away his money. He had like 10K. He won 10K. And it was like instantaneous. It was very, very drastic, very, very blunt. And then they came back a couple of days later because there was a lot of backlash, and they only gave him 6 months of a ban, and then they gave him all back his money, saying that he technically played the tournament within the parameters of the tournament rules, and therefore the money he won should be awarded. And it was kind of sneaky how they took it in the first place. They fined him the exact same amount that he won. So that was, a little shifty there. But anyway, they gave him back the money and they said he couldn't play for 6 months. Okay. So we fast forward a couple of days. There's an American tournament for the.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead. I'm trying to be quick here because I know you guys.
I want to jump in now. If you're not on the gaming side and see these, but you watch basketball before Hearthstone, Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, made a comment in regards to Hong Kong, and let's just say that the Houston Rockets have a gigantic following and get money from China because of Yao Ming and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he got waylaid pretty bad. And then you have multiple, let's just say, because the NBA has always been told of one of our players to speak out and speak up about political things. But China, they put a ton. Yeah, exactly. So, but that was before this Hearthstone. It's just funny how these things have trickled through, specifically with China and the amount of money that comes out of that country into westernized things, which people probably get to, of where percentages are owned and those types of things. But there was that on the sports side, which you've probably seen watching ESPN or listening to local sports radio if you didn't see this.
All right, Poop.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that. So okay, you're good. So anyway,
that's the Flaming Chode, guys. The TheFlaminC there.
That's why I'm not here anymore.
So the commentators were also let go, but then they said they're just suspended. They'll be coming back, and then, like I said, the reduced sentence to 6 months as opposed to a year, and the money was rewarded. J. Allen Brack, who is the Blizzard president, had a quote, and he says, I want to take a few minutes to talk to all of you about the Hearthstone Grandmasters tournament this past weekend. This is actually on a website, which I will post right here, because this is pretty important response that you get from Blizzard, and it's usually not something you get at all. Basically, he was saying that they made a decision against this player and the two shoutcasters, and basically for talking about the Hong Kong thing. And this is what's interesting. At Blizzard, our vision is to bring the world together through epic entertainment. And we have core values that apply here. Think globally, lead responsibly, and importantly, every voice matters. This was a big point of contention for everybody and what they had to say about this event, because they didn't feel like this was adhered to. And this was basically China was breathing down Blizzard's neck because 5% of it is owned by Tencent. And that's a big 5%. And the thing is, they felt like they were being compelled to do that. I don't know, that's up to debate, and we can only speculate. The other thing is, Blitzchung was punished and banned for violation of an agreement the player had signed with Blizzard, and that banning had nothing to do with what the player said specifically. At this point, Brack insisted the company's relationship with China had no impact on the decision. That is up for debate, although how quickly and how rashly they acted leads us to believe that there was some influence internationally from China. The other thing that I wanted to do is there was a couple days later, an American University Hearthstone team, during their interview post-game, they held up a sign that says "Free Hong Kong, Boycott Blizz," and Blizzard, obviously. A week later, not immediately, but a week later, a ban was issued. Again, 6 months for all those players involved. And they again quoted basically the same thing, violated the rule book. It's not directly influenced by China, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to throw some numbers out to you guys real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys loose on it for the last 5 minutes of my time here. This is what Tencent owns. This is what I found on the internet. It could be true, it could be false, but this is what I found from several sources. They own 100% of Riot Games. That is League of Legends, which is one of the biggest games in the history of games. They own 80% of Grinding Gear Games, which is Path of Exile. That's one of their titles. They own 48.4%. That is 1.6% less of half of Epic Games, Fortnite. They own 11.5% of PUBG or Bluehole. I think they own like a little bit less of Bluehole Company, but they own 11.5% of the IP PUBG. And they own 5% of Ubisoft, which actually helped them get out of the hole about 7 years ago when they were really shit in the bed with their games. And then 5% of Activision and Blizzard. And the last two numbers I'm going to throw out there is, this blew my mind. They estimate that in 2018, there are 166 million gamers in America. but they estimate that there are 620 million gamers in China.
It's supposed to
So-
triple the next decade.
So those numbers, and you think about how important it is for a game to get into China so they can harness some of that 620 million gamers to try to get any money at all. You can see how much stress China would have on a relationship with an American or other nationality-based gaming company. So what I want to ask you guys, because this is going to take up time and I don't want to take up any more than I need to. Number one, do you think that China was involved? Number two, do you agree or disagree with Blizzard? And number three, is Tencent going to be the future of all of our censorship with regards to games? What do you guys think?
Let's do it round table.
Okay, go
Keith.
first, boss.
I'll go last.
My first thought is there no monopoly law in that's funny, monopoly law in gaming?
In China?
This sounds ridiculous. Like they have such a controlling stake in a huge market of gaming, but censorship in gaming has always been kind of an issue, whether it be from outside sources, parents, media, legislation, whatever, to now inside sources. So is this just going to be the next, Grand Theft Auto hot coffee incident, or is this going to be something that has farther reaching implications into the gaming industry? So I don't know at this point. It seems early. I'm interested to see what happens with it. And it sounds to me, my first impression is that this conglomerate is putting their thumb down on a small section of gaming.
Joe.
Man, I don't know. I've been following the Twitterverse and a lot of different things, and it's interesting to see how much influence outside of gaming has been done. And I'm trying to find it right here in regards to China's influence on things. China is telling people if you are Taiwanese, and I believe that was what this gentleman was as well, they cannot have the Taiwanese flag representing themselves anymore, so they have to use the Chinese flag. There's different ways of that. Was also, I don't know if you brought this out, what Riot came back, it's being owned 100% by Tencent. Their CEO stated, hey, this is the US, freedom of speech is totally allowed, and we're not going to ban any of our players by stating these types of things, seeing over at Blizzard. It's scary what can be perceived or done by countries and by money. And again, like I said, look at it in a national scale in professional sports. I mean, they were looking for this GM's head because of stating that he was supporting protesters in Hong Kong. I mean, that was one of the reasons this player wore a mask and a gas mask, is because in China, you're not allowed to wear anything that covers your face because of facial recognition. So there's lots of right, and that you'll see a lot of
SARS masks.
So it's a scary world in what we're getting into. They have no Twitter. They have their own Twitter. They have no Facebook. They have their own Facebook. They have their own internet. It is a very interesting country, and for the most part, the people that I met when I was there, very, very nice. But they love their country. I mean, that's what they know. That is what they've been indoctrinated in. And that's very difficult to go to Hong Kong, like I said, which was a British colony, to then have all those freedoms and everything like that, and then have that taken away. So, but it's crazy how you can have that type of influence on the other side of the world.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.
And Tencent's got a ton of money because you've seen them all over the place in the last couple of years.
Very good.
So,
Solid.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna be able to censor a lot of shit like in actual American gaming. I think there's too many people in American gaming studios that'll stand up to that shit and don't give a fuck. Like the Epic Games dude, the CEO of Epic Games is like, nah, we don't give a fuck what Tencent has to say, even though they own almost half of us. Like, we're gonna say whatever the fuck we want, and we stand with the whole. Like, they were basically announcing that they were standing with all the shit that's going, like all the rebels and shit. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Tencent hasn't done any outwardly done anything, but I'm sure that they've got their little finger, with a thumbtack pointed right above Blizzard over that stuff. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that they had something to do with it, just, under the table.
Yeah.
They're never going to say it publicly. So, as of right now, I mean, it's basically just all Blizzard. They're the ones who are deciding to do it anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much money are they doing it for,
Right. So Poop Shizzle,
I forgot.
Go ahead.
Chad, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Chad.
I was just going to say I forgot one other thing that's on the sale side as well as political is you've got your trade war with China going on currently. And there have been stated things about components and everything coming out of China, increasing products here stateside too. So you've got a lot of things besides gaming going on in the world.
What's funny is all this started happening too as soon as Google was like, you know what, I think we will go to China and start selling our stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Then all this shit started happening because they don't have any copyright laws. That's why a lot of people aren't over there. Google, Nintendo, lots of people are like, we don't want to go over there because they'll just copy it. And once we give them access to the code, they're just going to copy it and take it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. And so but now that Google, Facebook, and Nintendo are all like, I guess we can try to start going into China. I think a lot of people are getting scared. So I wouldn't doubt that all this shit is starting to happen out at the same time. Too much money in all of it,
Chad, you missed doing a podcast, I can tell.
I know.
Wait.
But wait. So Poop Shizzle, you said 3 questions. The first one was China involved, right?
First one was, do you agree with what Blizzard has done? Number 2 was, do you think that they're actually in charge of this? And number 3 was the censorship.
So do I agree with what Blizzard has done? I agree with the idea of what Blizzard has done, making it about gaming, if they're true to their statement. Now, in addition to that, I don't think that they are, because they had people that were on the forums, just regular people that they banned for 1,000 years. I mean, that's a
little
move.
petty.
I mean, you ban someone for a couple of weeks or something for saying something dumb, or even a year. 1,000 years just mean fuck you. That's us telling you not to fuck with us. And I think that Blizzard is playing from both ends with this. Second question was what?
Do you think that they're being influenced?
Absolutely.
Do you think they're really in charge?
No, not at all. No, I think that Tencent has had a big influence. And and to that point, League of Legends is one of the biggest games ever. They're 100% ownership of League of Legends. You don't like what we do as China? You don't get League of Legends. We'll just shut it down to everybody but Chinese people right now.
All 620 million gamers.
Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, they have the power in this position. Blizzard has done exactly what they had to do. The 1,000 years was dumb. Going that far, they wouldn't have had to done that, They could have just banned people and just have made a showing. They could have done what Epic is doing, what I think right now, and being yeah, we don't care about Tencent. They fucking care about Tencent. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
But them posturing and saying yeah, we'll do, we don't care. We're cool, man. We're Epic. We got Fortnite. They're going to be as soon as Tencent says, drop, they'll drop. It's a big company. There's a lot of money. The gamers, like you said, 600 million gamers versus 100 something over here.
166.
166. Yeah. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, it's absolutely obvious that they have way more power than anything coming. Whatever the game they want to produce, they can sell 6 times of whatever it is on the millions of numbers.
Well, and that's why game companies will bend over backwards to meet their censorship demands within their games, no blood, no different regulations that we don't have that we have in our games, because it's worth the money to get it out to that player base to make those changes.
PUBG was a great example. PUBG was ban China, ban China, ban China. All these people just stop the cheating, stop everything. No, they never did. They never would. Mm-hmm. And Bluehole was a small company at the time.
Yeah.
Because they know where that money's coming from. And that's the power of the yen, right? I mean, that's the power of money. They have way more people. Yes. They can make way more influence. And that's why they're fucking the NBA right now. Because it's we can do what we want. If you want the NBA in China, and they do.
Yes.
So much. Then you're going to concede to this. He'll be gone in a year. That guy's out. Guaranteed.
Which is crazy.
Hey, man, don't fuck with China. That's the answer.
That's the long and short.
That's why you saw LeBron tiptoe around it when he got interviewed.
Absolutely. Poor Dennis Rodman. He went to North Korea. He should have gone to China. Sectator, what you got?
So I like to think from a different perspective a little bit, right? So I'll answer Poop's questions. I'm going to go over our 15-minute segment, but Fortnite news is short, so I'm okay with it. I do think Tencent or China indirectly, way far away, did have a say-so into that, and I'll get into that with my point. I do side with Blizzard on this. And the last thing is, yes, this is a start to censorship in gaming. So it's kind of start off with why I don't blame Blizzard whatsoever. This guy came forward and said, I knew what I was doing 3 months before I did it. I knew I was going to get banned because I signed a contract saying when I'm on the news, when I'm in front of the podium, I'm going to reflect two things: myself and the strategies I used to win, and promote the game. That is the only thing I am to do in front of the cameras. And this is the same clause that's in every single esports contract, whether it's Fortnite, whether it's Madden. So this guy stood up, did what he did. I support what he did. He even knew he was going to get banned. The only thing that he regretted was he took the 2 announcers down with him, was the only thing that he regretted. He thanked Blizzard for reducing his ban for 6 months and giving him his prize pool back, and he thanked them for allowing him to participate in the Grand Masters tournament that's taking place in the summer of next year. So he was formally invited to that tournament. So we will see him again if he chooses to play. So for those reasons, I do support what Blizzard did, because you made people sign a contract. It's a slippery slope if they go against that contract. And this was just because it's a hot button topic, it got way more publicity. But if a guy stood up and said F Trump or F Obama or guns are scary, like any of that stuff, it would have been the same outcome. This is just because it was a Chinese individual, Chinese competitor in the Chinese market with a hot button topic. So because of that, I do support Blizzard. The other thing that I don't think we think about, and if you guys are new to the podcast, because I see there's some new viewers in chat, I look at things from a business perspective and industry perspective a little bit. Blizzard does have thousands of employees in China. So, and China has proven time and time again over the last 40 years, they don't care. They will kill their own people, right? So we can ban one person, we can do what we want, but let's save the 5,000 to 7,000 employees we have in China, because if we don't, then it could be a very scary situation. We're looking at a huge hostage situation. So I don't think a lot of people are taking that into account when they're crucifying Blizzard. That's a really tough situation. And the last thing I want to talk about is the legality Blizzard has here, right? So I think, Adam, you hit a little bit on this. The difference between Epic and why Epic can tell China and Tencent to go F themselves is because Epic's a public traded company, or a private traded company. Blizzard's a public traded company. Activision forced them to go public. There's a difference there. The difference is, one, you don't have a legality or liability to your shareholders as a private traded company. So Blizzard, if they do, economists are estimating in the next 10 years, if you're not able to get a foothold in the gaming economy right now in China, you will lose billions of dollars. So if Blizzard did do what they needed to do to suspend this guy or ban them or uphold their terms and conditions, they would have had to have stood in front of the Supreme Court and tried to prove why we didn't just potentially lose these shareholders billions of dollars. And that is a criminal offense on multiple levels. You're talking CEOs, CFOs, board of trustees. So yes, it's a crappy situation. F China, F all those people, right? But at the end of the day, Blizzard did what they had to do because it's what they had to do. They had no choice. So
that's all I got. I'm overtime.
All right, next up, Sectator, what you got for us tonight?
Blizzard. It's gone. Or not Blizzard. Fortnite. It's gone.
Surprise!
Come on, bye. So all y'all,
cruise missile just took them out.
Everything we just said.
so all y'all are happy now because Fortnite's gone. So Fortnite 2's here. Fortnite 2's here. Actually, I absolutely love the marketing campaign with this. I don't play Fortnite. I was competitive in it at the beginning of the year. I don't play it anymore. They deleted the game for 2 days. That's why everybody was pissed off. They straight up deleted it. So hold up. Go to log in. Yeah.
They deleted it on Sunday? Yeah?
Yeah.
So
yep.
I looked.
The live stream was a black hole swirling.
So you can talk about the how they deleted it or whatever, but I looked in on Twitch, and I think it was like it was a Sunday, right? Sunday midday. Like King and I were doing the AM to DM, a SpawnCampCouncil adventure. We're doing that, and I looked over at Twitch, and they had like I think Just Chatting had 39,000 people watching. League of Legends had like 30,000 people watching. There were 729,000 people watching a dot on a screen that was Twitch that had been there for 9 fucking hours.
Tifu alone had like, what, 300 something thousand people watching?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
For 9 hours it was gone, and they were still watching that shit. Like, people are just, we have a problem.
But the way that it went down was, it was the same thing that had all those people watching the Pokemon, right? It was just the anticipation of what's going to happen, because there was no tweet. There was no nothing. The Fortnite Epic Games Twitter account went down. Their Facebook page went down. Their YouTube channel was taken offline.
Awesome.
You went to epicgames.com. They listed every IP they own except for Fortnite. And when you tried logging in with your Fortnite credentials, it said, sorry, this is lost in a different galaxy. And then it was off of Twitch. It was off of Mixer. There was nothing, no communication for 2 days. The only thing people had, they had a live event where the world got sucked into a black hole, and then they had a 48-hour stream of a black hole swirling. That's all that was there. And then they launched.
Awesome.
They launched.
Bravo to
Chapter
their
2.
marketing team.
Yeah, it's great. And they launched Chapter 2. There's a lot of positives with Chapter 2, a lot of differences too. Some of the people that I know in the esports community are talking about how like it reminds them a lot of when Fortnite first started getting popular. It's harder. It's more of a survival-based game. Like, you can fish for food. You can swim. You can hide in barrels. You can hide in bushes. You can carry. If your teammate gets downed, you can pick them up over your shoulder and carry them away. Everything's not handed to you, so weapons cost materials to upgrade. So to get like an assault rifle from a blue gun to a gold gun, it costs like 500 of each material. So that's their way of helping people avoid the build battles in the center of the map. The map's different. There's boats, there's vehicles. It's more of a survival-based game, and a lot of people are talking about how it reminds them a lot more of Season 1 of Fortnite, original Fortnite. And a lot of the streamers are actually receiving it very, very well. So that's Fortnite.
So it's like a complete revamp of the game when they're doing so well?
You can't play they weren't doing well. I mean, they were, but they were. I mean, if you look at viewer logs, you look at top stream. I mean, Fortnite fell out of the top 5 for the first time since the launch of the game on Twitch month to month. So this was perfect because they're just like, hey, we listened to everybody's feedback for the last 2 years. You guys kicked us in the ball sack in the hallway. We're going to delete everything and take all your feedback into consideration.
But the feedback meant survival game? Like, I cannot picture where any world where it's like
from.
I think survival game maybe it's more like a survival game, but it's not like you don't have to eat food. You don't have to do, but the fishing is like a health buff. So you eat it, it replenishes health. They took more shields out. They took materials out. They made the map bigger. It's more water, and you can swim now. So there's aspects of it that are more like a survival game, but it's not like hardcore survival game.
Okay.
So did they just import items or aspects from Save the World?
Yes.
Into the
sort of
multiplayer?
Sort of. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So they brought back a lot of the guns that people have been asking for, like the pump and tactical shotgun are back, which we've talked on this podcast before. People lit their kitchens on fire because that was taken out. Bolt action snipers are back. They brought back famous spots on the old map, but it is a completely new map. It's getting pretty positive reviews. I mean, Fortnite's back at the #1 game, I think, on Twitch the last 5 times I've randomly checked. So it's working.
Yeah.
They usurped WoW Classic. So.
And they're just going head to head against Apex Season 2.
Yeah, I mean, Apex is
or season whatever. 3.
Season 3.
Yeah,
Apex will get more viewers because they just launched their Halloween event, which is pretty cool. But Apex has never actually been a competitor to Fortnite. Okay. Yeah, Apex's top day when they didn't pay Ninja to stream. Apex's top day was like Fortnite's worst day. So they no. Yeah. When they wrote Ninja a check for $6 million to stream it for 40 hours in a week, they were #1. But yeah, that kid's making money.
Yeah,
he doesn't got to dance.
Nope, doesn't have to. That what you got?
That's it.
All right, cool. Solid. What you got for us tonight?
Shit, let's talk about these Chinese companies. I don't even want to talk about fucking Riot Games anymore. Right? Just kidding. All right, so. No, Riot Games is crazy, dude. They had some stuff that they had to talk about, obviously, because they're holding their League of Legends World Tournament right now. And they just put out a blank statement saying nobody's talking about anything remotely related to anything else besides the World Tournament. And if you do, you're just straight up going to be kicked out. Like, it's just don't talk about anything else besides League of Legends. That was basically what they said to everyone. We don't want to have to kick anyone out. Like, please don't, you know. But so it's been 10 years. I think this coming like month or something that they've been around. That League of Legends has been around, which is crazy to think of. It just seems like League of Legends has kind of been around forever. And it's the only thing that Riot Games has done, right? Yeah. Until they had this 10th anniversary live stream where they announced like 7 more games that they've been making for the last 10 years. I mean, Riot Studios has got I think 500 something people that work there. So, and to have them all working on just League of Legends seems really ridiculous to everybody. But so I'm just going to quickly break down exactly what the fuck they got going on now. So they announced a new character. Obviously they are announcing new characters every couple months. This is a new marksman healer, which is kind of weird. It's if you read the lore at all, it's Lucian's wife that gets released out of Thresh's lantern that he captured her soul into. There's a pretty cool little trailer. I'm actually going to link this in chat. This is kind of like the article on IGN. It kind of details everything. But then we've also got a new hero shooter coming out. These are all called Project A, Project L, Project F, stuff like that. But they've got a new tactical-based hero shooter that's basically a combination of Overwatch and Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it looks really freaking cool.
Yeah, it looks dope. There's some cool, I'm gonna throw this thing in here, create a portal, go through my portal, kill these 2 guys, throw knives at these guys, go back to my portal.
And it's 3v3. It's a 3v3. Shoot.
It's very it reminded me a lot of Trials of Osiris, but way more tactical than Trials. Just really fucking fast paced, breakneck, just fucking go. Then they've got, so that's that game. All right. Now there's another game coming out. Also, it's a fighting game. I don't know why, but it's they've got a League of Legends fighting game coming out. Crazy, I guess. I don't know. So they've got some weird social game. They keep talking about making an MMO or a top-down Diablo-like game, which I think would be pretty cool. It's kind of what League of Legends already is. It's kind of like a Diablo-ish type game, but in a strict arena. I think something where you go around like Diablo would be pretty dope. I'm sure Adam and King would probably really get into something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Then they've also announced a card game that they're coming out with. Everyone else has a fucking card game. This is going to be free to play, obviously. Hearthstone will be. I myself don't get into these kind of things because they are basically pay to win. So no thanks.
Hearthstone's failing really hard right now, and it's not card balance. It's just that industry is dead. I mean, Magic the Gathering's even changing up the release cycles as well. So it's not. Riot should hold back on that, in my opinion.
I think the whole card game thing. I mean, Magic the Gathering is always going to be the most popular physical card game, just because it's been around for 20 fucking years, and you really can't. They can't really do any. You can't really make a new card game that's going to be any better than that. There's just nothing. Tons of stuff have tried, but there's just really nothing as simple as Magic the Gathering.
Pokemon and Magic, right?
Yeah.
Well, and it cost them 8 cents to make a booster pack of cards, and they charged $9.99 for it.
Well, back to the Dungeons and Dragons, when Wizards of the Coast pulled in Magic into D&D, you knew that was the death knell for the card game. Yeah, it's they wanted to keep those separate for such a long time, and then they pulled them in.
Now that they've kind of pulled them in, I mean, I could see the Wizards of the Coast doing a Magic the Gathering or D&D crossover RPG game. I could totally see a Diablo or Neverwinter Nights or something, but all Magic the Gathering based.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. That like you said, they pulled it into D&D already, so I don't know. I play Magic the Gathering still. Like once in a while, I'll go do things just to see how it is and play it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a blast playing it with my friends. You know, I don't get too crazy, but I'll buy like a fucking fat pack every once in a while or a deck and play with my friends. But anyways, back to Riot Games. Now they also have League of Legends coming out for iOS, Android, and consoles. Like the actual League of Legends game. Except it won't be the same as the PC. It's not going to be like a PC port. They actually built it brand new from the ground up.
Wow.
And it's going to be called Wild Rift. It's not. They said it's not going to have all the characters right initially when they do announce it or when they do like release it. And the games aren't going to be 45 minutes to an hour, like really long. They're going to be like 20-minute games. But yeah, console, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah, because didn't Diablo 3 like literally crash and burn when they tried porting it to Xbox?
No, I mean there's a pretty big following for Diablo on console. Once they brought it out, it was actually pretty big. But I think League of Legends would do really, really well on like obviously mobile and stuff. They already have like Mobile Legends Bang Bang, which I don't know why Adam said something about that earlier before we started casting. That was really weird. But it's basically just League of Legends, and Riot like had to like make them change their name from whatever it was before. Mobile Legends, I think it was. What is it? It was just Mobile Legends. But they're basically just going with that whole method. So they're gonna have that on console, Android, and iOS. I don't know when. They just all these games are just like on no release dates.
Yeah.
And
so it was just like hey, we're not a dormant company. Look what we're working on.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 86 projects.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you guys, we haven't been just like chilling for the last 10 years. This is what we've got going on. They also bring in Team Fight Tactics, which is their auto chess or whatever to mobile, which I think is going to do really, really well.
Yeah, I'd play that on mobile. I won't play it on the desktop.
Yeah, I don't play any of the auto chess shit on desktop. I will play like Dota Underworlds on my phone once in a while. But yeah, I don't know. It's all right. I don't like getting stuck in games for 45 minutes. But I'm not like actively doing something like the entire time. But so then they also have an esports manager game coming out.
Oh God!
Which
it's a League of Legends esports manager.
It's like NCAA coach.
Okay, so it's
fantasy
like
league
I was gonna
ball.
say, yeah, they released that head coach for 2 years, and then nobody bought it. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
So just poured it over to
you got
league.
your Motorola.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck is asking for that game, but whatever, I guess.
If they just put soccer in it, it'd be fine. Like if they just put like
If FIFA endorses it, you're done. You're good.
FIFA endorsed league.
Yeah, pretty
Manager.
much.
Yeah, that works.
But aside from like those games, let's see here. They also have an animated series finally coming out. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the Riot games like League of Legends, skin announcements, character announcements, event announcements. They're fucking gorgeous. Like they have some of the best cinematics, I would say, out of any game company, period. They're very deep. They're very, very Blizzard-like, but I feel like they're just so much more epic than what Blizzard usually does. Like Blizzard's very Blizzard, right? With Riot Games, they change up the art style every single time that they make a video. It's always different, like, and it's so amazing. But yeah, so
it's awesome.
Dude, they want that fucking money, bro. That's all I can say.
Oh no, Winnie the Pooh.
Hey,
But
easy.
they're,
We're gonna get this podcast in China. Come on.
But they are, they're doing this animated series, which is going to be based in Piltover, which is one of the areas in the League of Legends universe. It's going to be all based upon the like magic, kind of like high magic, high technology area of the League of Legends universe. But it looks like it might be pretty good.
Did they say where they're putting this out? Can we see that on Netflix or somewhere?
Sometime in 2020, and we have no idea.
Okay, just
all they did, like I said, all they did with all these is say, hey, these are coming out eventually, sometime next year, or something. You know, like who the fuck knows?
It's be like a new app. It's like Crunchyroll, but it costs $20.
Well, in their defense with the timeline, it's hard because what I watched Project F looks amazing. That's the most interesting one to me. They're right now, the biggest issue with first-person shooter, you guys know you all play PUBG, you shoot somebody, and then they run behind a wall and they don't die. So that server tick, they are guaranteeing 0 server tick. You shoot a guy, he's hit. That was the first foundation of when they were building it. They have their servers registering your latency and then accommodating for it as it plays. So before they even made models or maps, the first thing they did was stick figures and registering with latency. So it's going to be hard to program, so I don't blame them for not giving, but they did show an application and they did explain how they did it, and if you're a computer engineer, you probably understand how they did it. But it seems really cool. Basically, they're taking your latency real time and they're compensating for the difference in the person that you're shooting at. It's amazing. It's why they only can probably afford 3v3 on the maps.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't doubt that.
I want to see that. That's got to be a thing,
dude. When this is coming, all these games are coming from a company that literally makes so much money that they dwarf the next 5 combined. Like, it's insane how much money this free-to-play game League of Legends has made over the last 10 years. It's always in the tens of billions.
It's at least $5.
It's at least $5.
Yeah, I don't know the exchange rate, but it's $5 plus.
It's at least $3. Yeah,
because that's how much I spent on skins on League of Legends.
I have spent way too much money on skins on League of Legends. Jesus Christ. But it's, I mean, like I said, for being out for 10 years and it's still literally the highest grossing game every single year. Whatever, dude. I don't give a fuck. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so we got all this crazy shit coming out. You can expect to see it eventually. So get ready.
Excited for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. When I was watching this like announcement today at work. I was freaking out in my break room, and my boss comes in. She's like, "You okay in here?" Just like, "Yeah, just nerd video game stuff."
She's like, "Oh, it's him."
She's like, "Oh, you're fired."
She shut the door.
Give him 5 minutes. He'll be good.
Yeah. Give him 5 more minutes.
All right,
yeah.
TheFlaminC, thank you so much for coming by.
Well, thank you very much for the time.
Yeah. So those that don't know, TheFlaminC was the host for our podcast for quite some time. Solid Scorpion Z was a host for quite some time. And we're just kind of moving down the ranks there. Glad to see you again. Excited about
Thanks,
Extra
sir.
Life. And
I'm very excited.
I'm kind of bummed that you're going to be there with me on the 2nd.
I know. I'm gonna through out and help you out in the evening, I hope.
Okay, cool.
So.
Just stop in and keep me awake because I need somebody to keep me motivated. Poop Shizzle, your last night with us as a host.
As a main guy, yeah, I can still be in the field reporter from time to time.
Well, it's been fantastic, man. Hate to see you go.
Absolutely, man.
I understand.
By the way,
watch you leave though.
Been watching your YouTube series. It's been very good.
My YouTube series?
Yeah, the Destiny shit that you were part of. I'm watching
Manga.
Oh shit, yes. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I did that. Oh,
that stuff.
No, I was thinking, like, I'm actually working on videos for gameplay. And I'm like, what the shit? That's not public.
It's not yet.
What the shit?
How are you
It is in China.
We know.
All right. Add that into when we leave. Great job tonight, gents. Where can we find you in the real world, King Dawes?
Everywhere at KingDawes1.
Very good. Sectator, where you at?
Everywhere Sectator Gaming, and I will be back live starting November 6th at 9 p.m.
And when are you going to be playing? Fortnite?
No. Yeah, I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit. Probably doing a little bit of Apex, and then I want to get into a little bit of RPGs and probably Classic WoW as well. So
Very nice. Very nice. Excited to see that. TheFlaminC, where are you at?
You can find me on Twitch at the TheFlaminC. Actually, they let me have Chode in there. Xbox is the TheFlaminC, and that's where I'm at.
Very good. Solid.
You can find me everywhere at Solid Scorpion Z.
Very good. And I am Adam 212. You can find me at that pretty much everywhere. And ending it with us tonight for his final cast. I hear violins and trumpets behind me. They're either angels or I'm dead. I'm not sure which.
No.
Where can we find you? Tell me everything you got going on. Tell me what you got coming up and everything you got to say. Just go crazy.
All right. Well, first of all, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Poop Shizzle. I'm working in cohorts with a media company called Mabomu. We're working on. I'm actually a puppeteer for a show called Haphazard Heroes. It's a machinima based in the Destiny universe. We use Destiny 2 as our main game. Don't know what's going to come of it. I'm just kind of a peon in the mix, but I'm having a blast. And basically, I'm stepping down from here just to do some more life stuff. Work on my own channel, work on some other things. Those of you who don't know, I work in the university sports field a little bit with the area college, and it's about to get super busy, and wife's kicking ass with her business, so I need to put some time in some other things. So I appreciate all the time and energy you guys have put into me in this, and it's been a blast. I absolutely love this. I will miss it on a week-to-week basis, but if you need anything, by all means, reach out. I'll be there.
All right, we'd love to have you again.
Absolutely.
Now
Thank you,
get
everyone.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get out here, baby.
Don't let the door hit you on the ass.
You are now banned from the campsite.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, listening to MetaGame. This concludes our cast. Check us out in 2 weeks for our next episode of MetaGame. Until then, remember that you've got to catch them all. Good night, everyone. Have a fantastic week.
STDs?
Oof.